Okay, so I want to describe a dream that I had, which was a very bizarre dream. First of all, it started out with me, my father, my brother, in this gigantic restaurant. I mean, this restaurant was the size of a mall. And for some reason, I was wearing black high heels and I was like running around and jumping off the tables. And I remember thinking in the dream, wow, this is really impressive. I can jump off this high table and the heels don't even break off the shoes. So weird. That was weird. I think it has something to do with the fact that I'm gay and I don't know. Anyway, but so then me, my dad, and my brother leave the restaurant, and then they just kind of turned on me in the car and they kicked me out of the car. Those bastards. I'm so dream mad at them. So then I'm like walking around these back streets of some neighborhood. I don't even know where I am. And then I wander onto a construction site and I think to myself, oh, this is dangerous. I'm not wearing a hard hat. I know nothing about construction. I gotta get out of here. So I tried to go back the way I came and it had like changed and it was now like more construction site with big machinery and these vehicles and stuff. So I'm like, I was literally trapped in a construction site because every way I tried to get out, there was like machinery and stuff going on and people working. And I'm like, how do I get out of here? And so I'm looking at all the workers and they're looking at me in their hard hats. Like they were looking at me like I was an alien. Like they had this fucking weird look on their faces. And so I'm asking people how to get out and nobody's responding to me. Like I'm trying to get off this. I'm like, I'm in the way. I'm some civilian who wandered onto this construction site. Like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So I'm like asking these guys, please, can you take me off this construction site? Like, help me. And and nobody would respond to me. And I finally saw this one female construction worker. As a gay man myself, I don't like straight guys typically. I'm sorry, that's mean. That's mean. Straight guys are fine. They're not all bad. But anyway, I see this female construction worker and I walk up to her and I'm like, hey, I'm stuck on this site. I don't know how to get off. Can you help me get out of here? And she kind of looked at me like she cared. And I was like, yes, finally, my savior. And so she's looking at me and she kind of looked around like she was about to point me in a certain direction. And then she looks down and she says, hey, can you take these planks and move them over there? What? So now she's putting me to work. And I'm like, how? And I was in the dream getting very frustrated because I'm like, I just need to get out of this place. And so then I ignored this woman construction worker because now she's just trying to fucking put me on the payroll. So I walk up to this guy, this other worker, and I'm like, listen. And I thought, now I have to get angry because maybe then they will listen to me. So I'm like, listen. And I looked over, there was a shelf. And there was all these weird little pieces of fresh mesh stuff. You know that stuff that people use to like plaster walls? It's like mesh that you put on. I don't know. I don't know. I know nothing about manly work. I used to work at a coffee shop. I never once did construction or electricity or whatever the fuck you even call that stuff. So I saw this like mesh stuff on a shelf. And I took a piece off the shelf and I looked at this guy. I was like, listen, fucker, if you don't tell me how to get off this construction site, I'm going to take this mesh and I'm going to rip it in half. I'm just going to rip it. Get me out of here. And then he started to laugh at me. And then, because I'm a little girl. I'm not going to fight anybody, not even in a dream. So then I thought, fuck, man, I thought that would work. So I just left. I left the people, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to risk my life. I don't care if I get bulldozed or hit by some kind of big piece of machinery. I'm just going to try to get myself off this construction site. So I'm like dodging things, and I'm like running out of the way of things, and I finally make it to freedom. And then for some reason, I found myself on East Broadway in Boston. Like, that's where the construction site ended. I was like in the city. And then I went down in the subway and I went home. But still, what a terrible dream. People need to be more considerate in dreams. It's just like, yeah, like if someone